Evet. Uh, Dear participants, welcome to my presentation. And Dr. Muhtar Bedri mentioned about part of the self-evaluation report. And also I mentioned another part of the self-evaluation report. And I present my presentation, I would like. You see a cat, this picture, a cat may think it's a lion. The cat looked at his mirror and he sees itself as a lion, but the cat is not a lion. It's a false. And another picture, the hedgehog load its own baby. Kalung, it's a cotton. You see? So why I show this picture? Before, some institution or programs may think that what they do is best. So they do not need self-evaluation report or external evaluation. Self-evaluation report and external evaluation report is very important to define the program, their weakness, their strengths, and their risk, another issue, for example. But this picture is real picture. A man sees his real height in the mirror. This picture means self-evaluation report, maybe a strategic or quality assurance system, or education, training, research and development, and social contribution and management system. All of them is contained in the institution or program. So self-assessment reports, generally it's an internal evaluation report written to include the governance process related to the institution mission, goals, quality assurance mechanisms, and monitoring and improvement efforts. Dr. Muhtar mentioned mission and vision and goals and propose and maybe politics and ethics, all of the institution is very important. The prepare self-evaluation report. What is the purpose self-evaluation report? The program or the institution is aware of its own strengths, areas open to development and improvement process. The report provides evidence, proof-based information on the level of dissemination and internalization of quality culture. It's very important that the evidence is realistic. Proof or evidence may be not sufficient, maybe it's require the strength proof, or maybe the team member or team member maybe require or need a site visit, for example, do strength proof, strength evidence. So it's very important evidence is realistic. We first read the team member, firstly read the report, then look for its reflection on the field. So we may ask questions. When we read the report, when we read the self-evaluation report, team member maybe prepare questions before the site visit, for example. It's very helpful for them. We may ask questions about the issues we do not fully understand. Some of the proof maybe we do not understand, we do not fully understand. For example, we saw or we examined the proof and we found a picture, but we do not found a report, for example. It's important for the team members picture also and report. So the team member may ask questions, and maybe they try to find a concrete, real evidence, real proof in the self-assessment report during or preliminary visit or site visit. The Dr. Bahar will mention this issue. Maybe in the detail they will mention. Therefore, it's important to prepare questions before the site visits or preliminary visits while reading the report. It's very helpful. So the report, or that is self-evaluation report to be prepared by the institution, is expected to include answers to the following questions. It's very important, the 4 questions, and it's very important to really answer these questions. All of 58 sub-criteria, PDCA or sub-criteria, it's very important. The questions, 4 questions, and also real answers these questions. Firstly, what is the institution trying to do? And what is the aim institution? What is the purpose of the institution? Firstly, generally, it was written in the report, the roof of the report, maybe mission. What is the institution aim? Teaching students and stakeholders, and then another issue. What is the goals? And vision is very important. The next feature, maybe the institution, a long road, for example, after 5 years, the future, where is the area of the institution or the program? So it's the main title, mission, vision, goals, and maybe ethics and politics of the program, politics of research development, politics of education, training, politics of quality assurance system, social contribution, and maybe management system. And the second question, and also the answer question, real answers is very important. How does the institution try to achieve its mission and goals? Firstly, the institution define mission, vision, goals, and ethics, and another part of the quality system. And secondly, this question and the real answer is acting, practices, implementing of the institution. How does the institution try to achieve its mission and goals? And we try to find this section, governance, organization processes, for example, commission, subcommission, coordinator, and leadership, and another stakeholder, for example. But if the institution try to achieve its mission and goals, they define the organizational processes and governance system. It's very important. And the third question and the answer, real answer is very important. How does the organization ensure that it achieves its mission and goals? Did you remember my first picture, the lion and cats? Every institution think about their activity is very well, but it's real, it's okay, it's very suitable. We don't know, so we have to monitor this system. Quality assurance process. This is very important, this area, this self-evaluation report. And also survey, for example, leadership survey and focus mission, and another mechanism. This third sect, we have to monitor this activity, the institution activity. And the last section, the last section is continuous improvement activities. The institution planning activity with stakeholder, maybe internal stakeholder, maybe external stakeholder, maybe international stakeholder, all of the participants. the institution define the plan, all of the participants. And then the second, to act all of the department, not some part of the department, all of the. For example, we think about the theology faculty. Generally, the basic administrative, the basic department, for example, basic Islamic science and philosophy, and philosophy science and Islamic art and science, for example. We weight the activity all of the department and all of the institution, from students to dean, from students to academic staff. How does the organization ensure that it achieves its mission and goals? This section is monitoring system. We are waiting for this monitoring system.
Dr.
And
Ahmet,
lastly, continuous improvement activity.
Dr. Ahmet,
Sorry.
10 minutes. Finished.
Sorry. Let's examine Hitit University faculty assessment. Sorry. Dr. Muhtar mentioned this. How to measure? Dr. Muhtar mentioned is PDCA, all of the sub-criteria. And so this session or activity is that Hitit University Faculty of Theology, Table 1 quality assurance system, but Table 1 focusing A31 sub-criteria, participation of internal external stakeholders. Table 2 just focus on the B61 sub-criteria, monitoring and review program. Table 3 just focused C4 2 evaluation of research sub-criteria. Table 4 social contribution performance, D3 1, E2 1 the table focus. Sorry, the last section. Please read the information under sub-criteria that is compatible with your tables in the self-assessment report of Hitit University Faculty of Theology. Focus on the evidence. Evidence is necessary. Evidence is sufficient or not sufficient, is real, or maybe try to improve. Write down the strengths of this institution, What is the strength of the institution? And write down the weakness of the institution. Maybe when we read the text, we notice the ask question, because we will go to the site visit. Maybe we think about this question, I will ask the site visit, during the site visit. So thank you so much. Now we will enter the halls. Thank you. Did you answer? Do you have any question? Now we will enter the house and just focus on the sub-criteria, evidence, proof, and strengths and weakness side of the self-evaluation report.
I got it.
Thank you. Are there anyone to evaluate these sub-criteria? Or then we can pass to another title, education training. So,
Yes.
who evaluate these sub-criteria, education? Do you think about, what do you think about the education sub-criteria? B61, monitoring and updating program outputs, including language education program in preparatory faculties. Who will evaluate these sub-criteria? Table second.
Table second. You can share us, please, Ahmet Türkan hocam.
Sure.
I can see this table. I cannot see table. Learning and training now.
Oh,
If you
Education.
can share. Uh,
Sorry.
if you can share us a learning and training tableau. Now
But
I can see.
It is the table 2, right, hocam? You are asking.
table two, education.
Harun hocam, it's not about us. Table,
Mm.
our table.
Ah,
Yes.
really?
No,
Yeah.
we have just
This one?
overview of the table 1.
All of the groups?
No.
Yes. Okay. We evaluate
No.
here also.
We are.
We read.
Now,
I am
now
in
with you.
so I
I
can
mentioned this sub-criteria, monitoring updating program, under the education training title. Which groups can examine these sub-criteria? Table second, I think. Dear Mrs. Zeynep, Professor, Associate Professor Zeynep.
I can say table 2. We saw
Okay.
this table. There is monitoring and updating, especially in curriculation. Students carried out a project and according to student, program is enough for students, and students carried out projects, TÜBİTAK project, and program is updating. For example, Turkish arts lessons, in pool lessons, lecturer suggestion, new course, and in a committee, lecturer committee discussing a level of survey. According to survey, they are taking new decisions, we can say, and there is proof is sufficient, we can say.
Dear Professor, what do you think about the weakness or strength of the program?
Strength of program is updating in especially meeting, academic year meeting. They are discussing how we are bring new things about program. We can say this.
Okay. Sometimes we can understand the proof actually. Maybe we can try to understand before site visit or during site visit. According to you, are there any question your mind if you go to the site visit, for example? Maybe we can understand exactly. Maybe I can ask this site visit, this question, this focus group, for example. What do you think?
I
I
think
didn't-
it's maybe arrival to 5 point.
Oh,
Yeah, because of it,
model.
I know this. I know this faculty of is very important. Have an application about planning and especially internationalization. At internationalization, yeah, internationalization. It's very good.
Thank you. Maybe I can ask the report contains just Oktay Gündoğdu, for example. You know, the course system, elective course. Maybe we can ask or we can find, we try to find, are there any academic staff outside Oktay Gündoğdu? Maybe we can ask, because the institution gave us the Oktay Gündoğdu. Maybe the institution has got a lot of proof outside the Oktay Gündoğdu, but just submit model these academic staff. when I searched this report, I couldn't understand all of the academic staff model of the elective courses. I don't understand. Maybe before site visit or site visit, I can ask this question. And maybe I can ask this question: how are stakeholders informed about latest improvements changes? How are, for example, stakeholders important, but change the institution has got improvements, change. What about stakeholders informed the change, for example, during the change process? That is. And another question maybe, are there any examples activities this institution submit us 23 years, 22 years program output? Are there any examples activities carry out 2021, 2022 years? Are there any years, for example? We can search the trends year by year. Also, comparison of the last 3 years is very important. For evaluations, generally trend systematic, because we can search systematic situation, PDCA, comparison last 3 years, 2021, 2022, 2023 years. What is change? What is trend, for example? We can ask, or we can wait. It's necessary to see two trends. Really, the strength side, according to me, for example, conducting external stakeholder surveys, using these update scores, for example, strength, according to me, because the institution conduct external stakeholder, and stakeholder is student stakeholder, academic staff stakeholder, outside faculty, religion affairs, national education, and another outside the faculty is very good activity, and using to update course, it's very good activity of faculty. And are there any questions, these sub-criteria, dear academic staff? So then we can pass another title sub-criteria, research and development. What do you say about research and development? Table 3 sub-criteria is evaluation of research performance and improvement based on results. Who do you say about or evaluate these sub-criteria? Table 3.
According to me, Hitit University only for maturity level. Because of it, I know the institute has a journal on index corpus. Because of it, it's professional journal, and because of it, according to me, the institute for maturity level.
Thank you, dear Professor Harun Çağlayan.
Thank you.
Are there anyone to evaluate, to discuss about these sub-criteria? So,
I have a small comment.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Orva, dear Professor. Sorry.
I have a small comment on this sub-criteria, because we need to ask them about the quality of the resources or the research. Is about how can reserve the national and international issues that can use by the community and improve our life, and for example in economic, family life, etc., social life. So the quality of the research is highly important to be examined here in this subtitle, because yes, we have a journal, we have for example papers, we have the research, but what this research is about? Is this research used by the community, the social community, to improve our social, economic, family life or not. So this can be used as a positive or negative indicator to maybe make our decision regarding the maturity level. Sometimes, yes, we have a large number of the research, but it's not useful for our community. So I think we need to focus on this sub-criteria to improve our work with this institution and improve their quality research to serve our community, national and international community. So I think this can be very and highly important to focus on in this sub-criteria.
Thank you for your contribution, valuable comments, dear Professor Orva. You are right, but another sub-criteria, national, regional, international
Yes.
research, another sub-criteria is very important. What do you think about the strength of the institution?
Yeah,
About
to have a specific journal within the institution to accept the research of academic staff and to improve their quality and to go and jump up with another levels to improve the quality of the, for example, research. But another point we need to focus on also to analyze every year the quality of the research have been published by the journal have been, for example, used by other institutions or have been used by the national, for example, organization to improve their works or not. So we need to analyze again the quality of the research have been published every year in this journal to improve the quality of the research. I think this is also very important to make a realistic or a real decision regarding this maturity level.
It's true, you are right. Maybe according to the strength side of the institution, it's systematic monitoring. It's very important because every month, for example, monitoring the research, it's very important. But the institution say that the institution gave a lot of training, for example, TÜBİTAK or the another project training. But maybe I try to find a need survey.
Yes,
I am an institution, and I want to improve qualifying the academic personnel. Firstly, I conduct a survey, but a need survey, because some academic staff need international project. Some of them the national project, some of them, but they don't know to prepare project. Firstly, I conduct the survey, but need survey. I try to understand what is need the academic staff. Firstly, the institution conduct a survey, really true. But I'm waiting for that, the need survey before the education or training. And
exactly.
Are there any comment? Thank you again, Professor Orva. Professor Abdullah.
Assalamu alaikum,
Please,
everybody.
salam, Ustaz.
Yeah.
Nice to see
I
you.
think now, thank you, nice to see you all. I think the best way to evaluate research in an institution nowadays is not only by seeing how many people use this research. The best way is to go to Scopus. The H-index is the most accurate way of evaluating. For example, in the Arab world, we have ARSIF. I don't know whether you have heard of it. It's like a Scopus and like Web of Science. So those who don't have access to Scopus or to Web of Science, nowadays we have in the Arab world, I think you have to take this into consideration when you come and evaluate research in the Arab world. For example, our journal, College of Sharia and Islamic Studies at Qatar University, it's a Q1 in ARSIF. But we are in emerging sources citation in, alhamdulillah, in in Web of
Mashallah.
Science. Alhamdulillah. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
The only Arabic journal in the in the Arab world now, which is very important. But anyway, we still in the emerging sources citation index.
I congratulate for you.
Yeah, this has been for 3 years, not now.
Okay.
No. Anyway, so I think this has to be to evaluate. It's not easy to evaluate research without these tools. You have the H index of the journal, for example, which is published by the institution. You have also the H index of some scholars who are joining. For example, sometimes you attract people who are highly cited, which is beneficial to the accreditation, as you know, for Times Higher Education, for and Sigmund and others. This is very important. Thank you very much. This is my comment.
Thank you for your
I don't know
valuable
whether you have in Turkey a body for like RCF or like Scopus, which has which gives the grades for the Q1, Q2 for Turkish journals. Do you have this one in Turkey?
Yes, TR
I don't. TR Dizin. Dergi Park TR Dizin. Is the index in national index. TR Dizin.
Okay. So it gives.
And
it
TR
gives
Dizin.
okay.
TR Dizin is difficult process. It's a difficult process. National index. Thank you for your valuable contribution. The time is over, but there are two titles, social contribution and management system, and just one evaluate to one person social contribution and one person to management system. Are there any comments? Social contribution, table 4, excuse me, sorry. Table 4. What do you about the social contribution sub-criteria? Social contribution, according to me, the advisory board is active planning, but its role in monitoring and evaluation is not fully understood. And monitoring not understood, maybe during the site visit or the preliminary site visit, we can ask, maybe we try to find this monitoring system, this social contribution. And the last title is management system. Are there any contribution, this title, subtitle?
Yes, Professor Türkan, we with Ustaz Fatima and with Dr. Abdul Samet, we studied the sub-criteria, human resources management. That was the sub-criteria. And we found that the policies and regulations mentioned in this report were very, very solid, but there were some weaknesses. For example, the proofs were too general. So they just, for example, in service training, they just mentioned a university in service training, which is not necessarily, might be not necessarily relevant to the faculty or to the program. So we might ask them to give us another proof that actually shows that the faculty and or faculty members participated in that kind of in-service training. Also, in appointment and promotion, we would like to see more specific examples of the faculty members. So they did not mention anyone. They did not mention any person from the academic staff or administrative staff, how they were appointed. Only maybe one person is enough from each level. Academic staff, one person, and administrative staff, one person, just as an example, how they just applied this policy. And if they applied, how they monitored it. Is there any entity within the program, within the institution, that monitors these appointments or promotions? There is no information about that whatsoever. And also they did not distinguish between permanent academic appointment and contract-based academic appointment. That's also another gap that should be filled by the faculty. So we see that it must be in the level of 3 and the maturity level of 3, but we need to ask them these proofs, these solid proofs. If they provide, or we see them in the site visit, then we can come up with the level 3, but it's not in the 4 because there is no monitoring enough, or they planned for monitoring, but they did not apply it because they just recently in 2024 they just planned it, but there was no time to monitor and make it better. So that's what we came up with at the end.
Thank you for your valuable contribution. Thank you, Professor Ahmet Temer, dear professor. And dear participants, our session is over, and another session is Dr. Bahar. Thank you, all of you, for your contribution, valuable contribution, and focusing on the text. Thank you again. See you later, inshallah.